Hey there guys, it's Tico here, bringing you guys some commentary on the Yugioh Dueling Network. So I hope you guys liked that last video I showed the Dueling Network. I posted that video mainly just because that guy really made me laugh, and I hope he made you laugh as well. You know, I guess nobody really can stop anybody cheating on here since it's not automated. So here we got a duel, and I'm playing this deck, and this deck is a deck that I'm kind of like working on. It's an anti-meta deck right now, just trying to get back into the game. At least I haven't really played in a while, like with the actual newer updated cards. So I went to Duel Network. The last couple of days I've been playing it while I've resolved some personal issues, which is the reason I have not been able to upload much lately. And you know, regarding that, you know, it's completely off topic, but yeah, that's the reason why I have not been able to upload lately a lot. But this duel right here, it's funny because this deck is an anti-meta deck, and this anti-meta deck focuses on a large part in using Macrocosmos, Macro, or using the banished of the Radiance to be able to remove my opponent's cards from play. Now, one thing you should know about Macro or Lord Banisher, or any card that makes it to where all cards, instead of being sent to the graveyard, are banished instead. Those cards, as soon as they're active on the field, the card does not get sent from the deck or whatever it's getting sent from. It does not get sent to the grave. Instead of being sent to the grave, it's sent out of play automatically. It never hits the grave. And I say this because I had actually somebody where they had Necro Valley out, and they thought that Macrocosmos wouldn't work because the card would first go to the grave and then be banished. No, it doesn't work like that. The card automatically goes out of play. It never actually hits the graveyard. Now, the thing that happens here is that, you know, since I'm playing this deck, I'm playing anti-meta, and I'm playing a lot of things. And with anti-meta, you know, you always got to be up to date with Yu-Gi-Oh rulings. So for every single card I play here, I look up the rulings and see how they work in conjunction with other cards. So one of the things you should know, for example, as long as you have Macrocosmos out or any card that makes it to where your opponent is going to banish something, if the effect, for example, let's say for example the opponent plays a trade-in or plays a card that requires you to discard a card to the graveyard, or requires you to pay a cost that sends the card to the graveyard. If you play your Macrocosmos in response to the card's activation, then their effect still goes through, because the moment they activated the card, they already paid the cost. They already paid the cost for that card, so the effect will still go through. Now, in cases of like Dark World Lightning, for example, you know, you activate it against a face-down macro. The opponent activates the macro, and then you can still, I think you can still discard a card from your hand, because at the moment you activated it was a face-on card. But I mean, even if you discarded a Dark World monster, it will go out of play. But if you activate it in response to any effect that actually requires you to send a card to the graveyard, and the effect still goes through, because the moment you activated it, it still goes through. Now, this is where it happens. If the macro is already on the field, and your opponent summons something or plays a card that requires some kind of condition with the sends a card to the graveyard, the effect cannot be activated. If the effect activated before, if the effect activated and Macrocosmos was activated in response to it, then you can still activate the effect. But if Macro was already in play before you even decided to activate the card, then it does not work, because the card that needs to be sent to the grave for it to work. As you guys can see, I'm here in this thing Googling, because like I said, I always look up the rulings for everything I have, and if there's a specific ruling I need to look up for a specific card, I look up forums, I look up, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh Wiki, I just look up everything from different websites to make sure that what I'm saying is right, because I don't want to screw anybody out of the game. So here, what I was thinking was correct. You know, any card that the opponent plays that requires him to send something to the graveyard to activate an effect, the effect cannot be activated. It's not that they can't activate the effect and the card just gets banished. If the effect requires you to send something to the grave, not discard, not just send something, not just destroy something, the effect requires you to say something to the graveyard. It actually specifically has to say send something to the graveyard. Then the opponent cannot activate the card, cannot activate that effect. So here is the part what I'm talking about. Some people just don't understand that, and the Dueling Network, in the last couple of days I've been playing with this deck and playing around and tweaking it around. A lot of people don't get that, and a lot of people don't get it at all. And some people, it's like some people don't understand the fact that the cards is banished. It's not sent to the grave, it's banished instead. It never hits the graveyard. All cards automatically go banished, automatically. It never hits the graveyard. It's not, when it says banished instead, it does not say goes to the graveyard then gets banned. It gets banished instead. It never actually hits the graveyard. So any effect that requires you to send a card to the grave does not work. As you guys can see, check out exactly what this guy says, and that's it. I was going to end my commentary because there's really nothing else I can say. I mean, it's just funny looking at it.